there truly are two types of people in this world. There are people that try to do the right thing and be courteous, and then there are others who literally seem to go out of their way to be discourteous. To park on such an extreme angle in an area with such limited parking is definitely a jerk move. I don't understand it. Anyway, what's up guys? Sean here. So we are headed back out to one of my favorite spots, and we're going to do a little cold weather hammock camping tonight. It's going to be a good time. It's beautiful out here. Let's get it. Wow. The lake has swollen, or the pond I should say. There wasn't that much water last time we camped here. Part of what we camped down last time over there is underwater. I don't know if I'll be able to get through here without getting my feet wet, or I'll have to go around. I'm not getting my feet wet today. That's cool. That's the first time I've seen turkeys out here. I couldn't tell, maybe I can tell on the camera. It actually looks like maybe some little bachelors, some little jakes, but it might be hens. I can't hardly tell from here. One of them definitely looks like a little jake though. That's pretty cool. So there was water across the trail, and instead of getting my feet wet, I opted to walk around. And I don't know how, but I thought I was recording, and I kind of walked up slowly on those turkeys, and they kind of launched and flew off, and it was beautiful, but you don't get to see it because apparently I didn't hit record. I'm sure I had some sort of very compelling words there too, but you don't get those either. I'll try to do better. Here we head into the green tunnel. They don't call it the green tunnel for nothing. Some old bear poop on the trail. He's been through here. It's that time of year we'll have to keep our eyes open just in case. So today I'm rocking a new pack. It's the Nature Hike Rock 40 liter pack, and there's a reason that I did that. I wanted the 40 liter pack because it didn't afford me the room to just pack it full, and I wanted that, and it has worked. I have loaded it up actually a little more than I had anticipated, but it'll hold it, and it's comfortable for me anyway. It's got a few drawbacks, I'll talk to you about that, but so far I'm pretty happy with it. Seems to ride pretty good. Jeez, place is overgrown. Seems to ride pretty good, and it doesn't seem to be slipping on the load lifters, which is one of the problems I have with my Marting Top pack. But I got this pack in preparation for our backpacking trip we were planning on before Helene come through and just destroyed that area up there. I got the pack, and then I got some hiking shoes that I'm trying out, which is one of the reasons that I didn't want to walk through that water, because it's going to be cold this weekend, or cold tomorrow morning, and honestly I didn't want to get up and put on cold wet shoes in upper 30s temperatures. So I was walking in and I saw a couple people ahead of me, and I seen them dip and turn around and head back out, and so see somebody act like that, you think they're typically up to no good. So I went ahead and unzipped the chest rig and had my hand on it, and it was Boreal and Matt's son, and I'm glad I realized who it was in time, because Boreal jumped up and headed towards me real quick, and I was, well, it was about to get western. Crazy joker. It's been a minute since I've been out to this spot. It's good to be back. Yeah, letting Aaron walk around the woods with Boreal might be a bad idea. Alright, so I've got my hammock and tarp set up, and kind of wanted to talk to you about cold weather camping in a hammock. I know a lot of you will already know this, but when you hammock camp in the cold, you need to have an underquilt, and the reason that is because the air blowing across your back or under you will draw your heat out and make you extremely cold. So I know people kind of have their own temperature ranges, but for me, anything below about 65 degrees I will put an underquilt under me, because with that breeze blowing across you, you would be very, very surprised how cold that you will get if you just have a top quilt on. And hammock camping, if you've never done it in a sleeping bag, for me, is next to impossible, because trying to stand up in that sleeping bag, pull it up on me, and then lay down in the hammock, swing up into the hammock, fight that sleeping bag back up to the top, because at that point it's all falling down around your back. It's just uncomfortable to me, for one thing. Plus, when you're laying in that hammock and that sleeping bag is compressed under your back, you're losing all the insulative properties of that sleeping bag, and your back is going to be just as cold. Maybe not just as cold, but you're still going to get cold even though you're inside that sleeping bag. Your back's going to get cold. So you need to have an underquilt under you. Now, there are a couple of schools of thought that I've heard people say your underquilt needs to have an air gap, where the underquilt shouldn't be touching your back. There should be an air gap under you where you could stick your hand under you and have your thumb and your pinky like this, and your underquilt shouldn't be any tighter than that. But then it should be tight up around the top and the foot end of it, so you don't want air getting under there. But then there's another school of thought. People, there's always people that have different ways of doing things. That you want the underquilt just up to your back, not tight against your back, but just up to your back to help hold that warmth in. I am from the first camp personally myself. I like to have a little bit of an air gap between me and the underquilt. I feel like my body just fills that area up with heat, and it makes me stay a little warmer. I could be completely wrong about that, and it could just be a placebo effect, but that is the way I like to do it. So I like to have my hammock set up with a little slack in it, or my underquilt set up with a little slack in it, so I'll have a little gap up under me. But then I'll snug the feet and the head end of it up, so I'm not getting airflow blowing inside. So that's just something I kind of wanted to talk to you about. I haven't really discussed that a lot in a video, and I kind of sometimes just assume that people already know this stuff. And I guess that's something that makes me not a very good teacher, but I do sometimes just assume that people already know this stuff, and I have people say, hey, why don't you explain this more or that more? So here it is today. Now you know a little bit about underquilts. Let's go get it set up. Now, this mess here, that's what hooks my underquilt up to the hammock. Now I hook the carabiner to it now this is the way I do it. I'll hook it right up to the other carabiner where the hammock hooks to it. Some people will hook it right to the end of the hammock there. I like to hook it right up to that carabiner the hammock is hooked to. And I'll show you what all this mess is here in a minute. A lot of this is just excess string that I could cut off of there if I wanted to, but I just never have. But this is all the adjustments for the underquilt itself. So, not really enunciating that or explaining that very well, but I think you know what I'm talking about. So you can see now that this is pulled pretty tight. I have this adjusted for my hitch mounted setup on the car for when Sarah and I were camping in the mountains, so I'll have to readjust this. And it's fairly easy to readjust. So we just have these little tensioners on here. Just grab that tensioner, pull it, and you can just adjust that tension out of it, and it will give you more slack in the underquilt. It's really simple. If you need more of an explanation on this, I can do it, but it's simple to do. Alright, so when you go, after you set your hammock up with your underquilt, take it from me, grab your hammock and your underquilt, both hands, hammock, underquilt, then sit down in it, lay back, and check it out, see if it fits. I think I'm going to lay this way. I have a little bit of an air gap under me. I need to adjust it a little more, I think. Now, why was I so adamant to hold the underquilt and the hammock at the same time? Because that underquilt alone will not hold you. Take it from me. That red oak does not give up easy. I just got to thinking about it. We're gathering up firewood and all that stuff for dinner, and I never did take my steak out of the tinfoil wrapper here, and it's probably still not quite rock solid, but it's pretty solid, so better take it out and let it start thawing out. Pretty good looking steak.
Oh, no way.
Upright bass with the band up at the speakers. I think too that the wind cools that down so much it kind of tightens those fibers up.
So Matt and Buddy are already got us a fire going, so I gathered up some firewood and I'm going to break it down because I think that I'm going to do my steak caveman style right on the coals tonight. So we'll see if we can get a good bed of coals going. I'll do it that way. If not, I didn't bring my grill, but they've got a grill, or I can always just go make me something real quick with some palmetto fronds. So I think we'll be alright. So when I first set up my hammock and everything, I specifically looked around to see which way the wind was blowing, so when we started the fire I wouldn't be worried about whether or not it was going to be ashes and stuff flying over towards my hammock. Well, guess what? The wind has changed, so I don't know if I'm going to leave it there or pack it up and move it to a different location. I don't really want to burn anything through it, but I also don't want to pack it up and move it, so I don't know. Have to see. Haven't decided yet.
It's gonna be good. What's on this? Chow for your steak?
No, I can't have it. I can only have meat. What are y'all making? Cornish game hens?
Cornish game hens. Roasting into 2-quart. Like that.
Bush pot.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just gonna stuff these inside some of them.
All right, so we got our steak thawed out. Time to put some seasoning on this thing. So tonight I just brought a little bag of that Kinder's Prime steak seasoning. That stuff is really good. And once, like for me, I can just put this on there and I don't need to put anything else on it. So it just makes it a lot more simple to do this way. Matt's got a really cool kit, a little seasoning kit that he put together. One of the reasons that I've never done the little bottles kits is because a lot of times the little bottles are glass. I don't really want glass bottles breaking inside my pack. And Matt found some that are plastic with the little metal screw-on lids. I think I'm going to get me some of those, make me a little, just a little pocket seasoning kit. So I'm going to go ahead and get the steak seasoned up real quick. And we're getting some good coals going. So as soon as they're ready to cook, we can break those coals up and pull them out. I'm going to throw this thing on the coals and cook it like a caveman. So I told you earlier that I would tell you about my new pack. Well, like I said, I got the Nature Hike Rock 40 liter pack. I think it's the Rock. Sometimes you look it up and it'll say the Rock 40 liter. Other times it just says 40 liter. But that's originally what I was looking for. I wanted a 40 liter pack because that would limit me to a certain amount of things that I could carry and wouldn't allow me to stuff it to the point where it would be so heavy I couldn't carry it for a long distance. Because like I said, this was something I wanted to use for backpacking. Now, I really like this pack, but there are a few things that are less than ideal. Couple of the things that I do like about it is it has this roll top on it. And I'll show you, I'll probably make a review video on this thing and show you a little more about it, tell you kind of, you know, the fabrics and all that stuff. But it does have the roll top, and it has really good webbing and cordage and stuff down the side of it that holds my saw and the little hatchet and all that stuff perfect. And this was just enough for me to be able to carry everything I needed for this trip and be comfortable to carry. Now, if you see a lot of the reviews, some people will talk about the internal frame in this thing digging into their hips and stuff. I didn't experience that, and I have this thing, I had it loaded heavier than most people that are going to carry it loaded today. It was probably 25 pounds or so today, and it rode just fine on me. Even with my wide shoulders and everything, this thing carries fine. I enjoy carrying it. It's got good padding on the shoulders. The load lifters don't slip on it, which is another big thing for me. It's got the padding on the back of it there. It does have airflow through this mesh. I think your back's still going to sweat with it, but honestly, if you're carrying a pack for very long, I don't care what you got going on, your back's going to sweat some. That's just my opinion, though. The hip belts. The hip belts are really small. So, for myself, being a bigger guy, that puts the hip belts way back around the back side, and it just makes them kind of unusable for me. I still was able to use them, but to be able to get inside them, I've got to drop the pack. Same thing for me with the water bottle pockets on the side of it. Because of the way this thing is set up, the water bottle pockets are a little far for me to reach. And the problem with that is me, I think, because I don't, for whatever reason, have enough range of motion to be able to reach around there, and so I think that's me. I do like the fact that it has a couple of pockets on the front of it. It has a smaller pocket on the front of it that makes it easier to get in and out of. But then it also has a big mesh pocket on the front of it that I kind of dumped all the stuff that I would need to get to quickly. But yeah, I like this little nature hike pack. It's pretty light. I think this one is 2.5 pounds or 2.3 pounds or something, where my Marting Top pack was 5.5 pounds. So that's a pretty good savings in weight just in the pack itself. But like I said, I'll probably do a full review video on this and give you a little more information about it. But just kind of wanted to tell you about the pack that I'm rocking this weekend. I'm liking it so far.
So you got it stuffed with bell peppers and onions there, olive oil and seasoning on the outside. Then we'll set it right into the cooker. That one's ready to go over there.
Awesome.
Yeah. So it drip. Look at that dripping. I always wanted to see the steak on the coal thing, so this is awesome.
Alright guys, so it didn't take very long at all for that steak to cook. Now, I'm pretty sure that this thing is done enough for me, but it was, that fire, those coals are so hot, I know it didn't take long. So let's see. That's pretty doggone good to me. I think it's gonna be delicious. And it took, what do you think, 8 minutes? 8 minutes or so to cook right on the coals. And the nice thing about it is, with the coals as hot as they are, nothing sticks to it. It's, when you flip it over, you can knock a couple pieces off of there, but that steak, I mean, it's clean. There's nothing on it. So that's all hardwood coals, and we just kind of knocked them around a little bit to get them glowing red, and you knock all that ashes off of it. Works out pretty good. Oh man,
That is crazy cool. I always wanted
that
to
is
see
so
that
good.
one.
It's funny. I told Matt and Bodie that, I said, now that's Bushcraft, boys. They got their Bushcraft kitchen going over there, and got their little Cornish hen roasting on the spit over the fire and all that stuff. Pretty dang cool. So good. Well, I'm gonna do something I don't typically do. I'm gonna make me some peppermint tea tonight. The temperature's dropping out here, and it's gonna get a little bit colder tonight. I don't know what's the low supposed to be. 38, something like that. Yeah. So I'm gonna get something warm in me. I'm gonna make me some peppermint tea. I tried to make it earlier, but Matt decided he didn't want me drinking tea and knocked my water over. I had to strike a deal with him. Oh, the chicken didn't. Apparently, the chicken didn't want me to have. So I struck a deal with him and promised I wasn't British, and I could drink tea. But so we're having some tea.
I'll get him to do that. I'll get him in a bit.
How'd you fold that bag? That came out really nice. You just like did the edges and then fold it.
Yeah. Yes.
Now that is a good looking dinner right there, boys.
Look at that meat. It's like falling off the bone.
Heck yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, man, that looks good. All right, I got some tea. there's still some ashes around the top of my cup. Yeah.
That's good for your digestion.
Carbon.
That's still good tea though. Peppermint tea. I really don't do a whole lot of tea, but I do like peppermint tea. It's amazing how quiet it gets when there's good food. With that hot tea, it warms you up on the inside. I mean, already I can feel it just going through me, warming me up. A smarter person might have brought some pants or warmer stuff to wear. No. Alright guys, well it's about 40 degrees. I don't know if you can see my breath, but it's cold. I'm gonna get in here, get snuggled up and warm. I'll see you guys in the morning. Well, good morning. It is a brisk, what is it, 38, 39, something like that?
39.
A brisk 39 degrees this morning. It feels good out here. So this, I've been waiting on this, a good cold camp. I slept really good last night in my hammock with my underquilt and overquilt. I was toasty. But got up early this morning and got that cool time lapse and everything. And got the fire going, and I think we're all getting ready to have some coffee this morning. I heated me up some water on the fire and make me some coffee, and I think I'm gonna just do like a beef jerky or something for breakfast. I'm not really gonna cook anything, but man, I've been needing a trip like this. This was nice. It's, you know, when we get winter here, it's not for what month, it's for how many days. So, got to take advantage of it when you can. But it was a nice sleep last night, all cozy in that hammock. So this morning for my coffee, Matt gave me one of these packs of the Dave's coffee. Where'd you say you picked this up from? Providence, Rhode Island. So I'm gonna try one of these out this morning. It's one of the almost like a tea bag. Put that in there and let it steep. Have a cup of coffee.
It wasn't be like 3 a.m. Shivering a little bit, but besides that, we're all fine.
Coffee and cheese this morning. Good hot coffee this morning. That actually is a good cup of coffee. That Dave's. Yeah. So Sarah gave me this as a little snack. I'm gonna eat it for breakfast this morning. It's the Tillamook. This is smoked black pepper cheese. So haven't been really doing breakfast. Been doing the intermittent fasting thing, so I don't really eat until lunch most days. But I'm gonna have me some little cheese. Maybe I'll do some beef jerky or something too. I don't know. Kind of feel like cold morning sitting by the campfire. I should be eating, well, I should be eating oatmeal, but can't have oatmeal anymore, so we're gonna do cheese instead. Alright, so I have changed my mind. I am hungry, so I'm gonna make me some spam this morning. I got my little frying pan that I made my little cook kit, and I've been looking for another spatula or whatever, and because the little one that I originally picked for this, it just didn't work. So I found this one, if I can get it back apart. So I found this one that is a little stainless steel one, and it folds, and it's got the little clip on it there. You fold it up and it locks into place. And this one works pretty good, so it's nice and lightweight and it folds down, doesn't take up much room. I'm gonna make me some spam for breakfast.
First time I camped with Sean, he made me a spam sandwich. It was the first one I ate since like 1982.
People always laugh at me for eating spam because it's terrible for you, but I love it.
Salmon, if you could build, like if you could build your smokehouse, get it ready. Once you, I love that place.
Good.
When I was a kid, like.
Well, we are all wrapped up, got the fire out good, and we're ready to hit the trail and head back to the vehicles. Really had a good time out here. Appreciate these guys for inviting me to come out and have a really nice cold Florida hammock camp. It was a lot of fun. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it that big thumbs up. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button down there. Ring that notification bell so you get notified next time we put out a video. You can follow us on Instagram and on Facebook. Appreciate you guys watching. See you next week. Always got to come back and get the camera.